Hey, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. It's actually good afternoon. We're just going to give this one more minute and have some folks join us, and then we'll get started. Okay, minute's up. Welcome everybody to especially welcome to our brand new service professionals who have joined HomeAdvisor. My name is Sherry Bastura, and I am an account manager in the strategic partnerships team. And we started this webinar series about, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago as a way to help you guys get set up for success as you learn the HomeAdvisor platform. So this week's guest is Bryan Park from Footprints Floors. We've asked him to share some of his pearls of wisdom, if you will, and to kind of help you to navigate HomeAdvisor's platform. So Bryan, I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit about your company and your business.
So my name is Bryan Park. I own a residential flooring company in Denver, Colorado. We started it in 2008, and I'd been with the company prior to this as well. So I've actually been with HomeAdvisor for about 15 or 16 years now. It was Service Magic way back then, and it converted to HomeAdvisor about a decade ago. So I'm very familiar with the platform. We've used it for a lot of years. Yeah, we just do floors. We're a pretty straightforward company. We do some marketing, and then we go do estimates and book jobs and collect checks and repeat.
I like the collect check, right?
But yeah, it's in community service.
How did you come up with the name Footprints Floors? Did it have anything to do with a pet?
No, there's actually a Christian poem, Footprints in the Sand, and so that's where it comes from. But we don't shove it down people's throat necessarily, but yeah, we're a Christian organization and
cool.
Leadership, I should say. But yeah,
I figured maybe it had something to do with paw prints on a floor, but
you get that joke a lot. We didn't want footprints, and yet you put them on my floor. Like, oh, well, that wasn't on purpose.
Footprints, paw prints. I know that's what I live with. So, as you said, you've been with HomeAdvisor since since Service Magic, and when you took over the business, what made you decide to stay, or what kind of led you to this marketing channel? Lead aggregate.
Yeah, no, it was always very advantageous for us with the previous company, but really the single best part of HomeAdvisor, and I've said it for 15 years, it's a faucet. The higher your spend, the more leads you get. There's very few lead sources that can guarantee that. And HomeAdvisor can. So if we want more business, we simply increase our volume, and you guys fill it. There's not another lead source that's able to do that. There's a lot that are similar in price, but they can only feed you so many in a month. So if we want a higher volume, they run out of volume pretty quick. And there's just a lot that you just pay a monthly fee, and you just cross your fingers and you hope you get something in return. I'm not a big fan of that, and we haven't had a lot of success over the years with those kind of lead generation companies. Whereas HomeAdvisor, they deliver. You turn on marketing, and you get phone calls. That's what happens.
Good. This is a great segue. So when you get a lead from HomeAdvisor, what's your process? Kind of like your tips for success on how you respond to a lead.
The number one tip for success in responding is you got to call within minutes, immediately. The sooner you can contact, the more likely you'll connect. A lot of these, I can't remember what you call them, market match. You got 3 or 4 different companies calling, and most customers are going to talk to 2, maybe 3. Very few get to 4. And if you're the 4th guy calling, you're out of luck for the most part. So, and then I've talked to a lot of people over the years that weren't happy with HomeAdvisor, and every single time it's because they waited till the end of the day to make all of their phone calls, and they could never convert any of their paid for leads into actual estimates. And so they called it junk and they quit. And like, you can't run your machine all day and hope to connect with people at the end of the day. It's too late. So you need to have systems in place, maybe an admin staff that can answer your phones all day for you. I know I was a floor sander for a lot of years. I know how difficult it is to turn off your sander every time your phone rings. It's not really feasible. So you got to come up with plan B and just have somebody that's able to answer the phone.
So what's your process? Do you just do a phone call? Do you do an email? Do you do a text? A combination of all 3?
Yeah, we all 3. We have a computer system that receives the lead from HomeAdvisor and instantly sends them an email and a text message as soon as we get it. It's called a CRM. There's quite a few of those out there. So as soon as we receive the lead, we're already in front of them making contact, and then we call them within a few minutes as well. And we have a large staff at this point, so we're able to do all that.
Now, do you just do it on the first day, or do you kind of have like, we'll reach out by phone call, text, and email the first day, maybe try again the second day, or how far out do you space that?
We have 14 different contact points over 14 days.
Wow.
Trying to convert them. Yeah, so and most of it's automated, but yeah, we'll call kind of every other day, twice on the first day, and then every other day for the next 2 weeks, trying to reach people. Yep. I mean, we've paid for the lead at that point, right? So this is my money, and so my office staff sees it that way, and they want to make sure that they give us the opportunities. That's what they're paid for. So.
Yeah, I'd spoken to a gentleman a couple weeks ago who said he refers to it as every lead is sacred. Like, this is the platform. This is what you signed up for. So treat it as a sacred, as a sacred thing. How much of your business would you say comes from HomeAdvisor? I know you said you have a call center also.
Yeah. My personal business in Denver, maybe a third of our business comes from HomeAdvisor. Then we have other marketing sources, and then referrals and repeat business is a big chunk of what we do as well. That's something that I've talked to guys a lot over the years is there's this mentality out there that paying for marketing makes you weak, and that running a referral-based business is the way you're supposed to do it. I've always wholly disagreed with that. And my counter is, if I market, I do more business, then I therefore have more repeat customers and more referrals coming out of that more business. I do a lot more referrals and repeat business than somebody that's only able to do one job a week and they're only living on referrals. So yeah, you got to market, and it leads to more business, and then it's a snowball effect that just takes off.
Yeah, so if you're not able to reach a consumer first, or you didn't get the job or didn't convert, do you keep a list of those customers in your database that maybe you can reach out at another time, do a drip campaign, whatever it is? So you're using that as part of your pipeline.
We have a drip campaign, yep, for each HomeAdvisor lead. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Sounds all.
And
everybody know what a drip campaign is? That's kind of an industry term.
We can talk about that. So in your call center, does your agents have a script that they follow? So it's kind of uniform. So it's kind of like an elevator line. They know when a HomeAdvisor lead comes in. They know how to respond and how to position the questions when they make contact with the homeowner.
No, I wouldn't say it's scripted, although they have the conversation so many times a day. I'm guessing it can start to feel scripted, but no, we really go for more of kind of a mom and pop feel in our conversations. We don't want a call center reading a script. That's not who we are. Yeah.
Got it. I've talked to a couple of people who like to do that when they first start out, so until they get that cadence going in their head, they know exactly what they're going to say. So that's just if for some folks that are just starting out, my advice would be to write something down just until you get comfortable kind of talking about it. So that's another good segue. So can you share some of your best practices that you've developed over the years using the platform? And where I'm going with this is, your directory listing, your ratings and reviews, that kind of thing.
So I'm a little bit removed from the day-to-day, and I'm trying to think what we're. So I know that. So reviews are huge. I'll speak on that.
Okay.
Reviews will make or break your business for sure, and the more you can get, the better. It's absolutely. I guess everybody that's listening to this is probably brand new to the system. You got to get to 10 or 20 5-stars as quickly as possible. When I bring on new owners into our system, I tell them, whatever you need to do, get a 5-star out of every one of your customers. My joke has always been, can I mow your lawn or shovel your walks or something, please? I whatever I can do, I want to make sure that I've earned a 5-star out of you. Because when I come to collect the check on Friday, I'm going to ask you for a 5-star, and I really hope that we've earned it. And so you tell me at any point in this project if we haven't, because I want to make sure we get it. And make it a priority. If you make it a priority, then it'll happen.
Yeah.
You can't be nervous about it.
So are you doing that at the handshake or during the middle of the job, or it's just kind of when it feels right to say, you better give me a review?
Like 6 times during the project. During the estimate, the first day, it's like, hey, we should be finished up towards the end of this week. I'll be swinging by to grab a check, and I want to make sure I get that 5-star review out of you. So just let me know, and bring it up. So that way it's not awkward when you ask for it on Friday. And obviously don't ask the difficult people to give you 5-star review.
Yeah,
Just hope they don't know how to work their phone.
Yeah. So when I'm coaching new partners who are coming onto the platform, I also say as part of your membership fee, you do get a profile. And I think it's really, really important when you're first starting out to spend some time on that. And that is going to be uploading pictures of either your truck, your team, some before and after work that you've done, if there's any community outreach or anything besides obviously a description of what your services are, because that's your storefront. So when people are online and they're looking for a contractor or a service provider, they're going to go through those profiles and those reviews. So I liken it to your storefront. So if you have some nice, bright, shiny objects that are cool looking, that's going to pull you in. But if you have nothing in your storefront, somebody's just going to walk on by. So I really urge folks who are just starting out to, again, just spend some time on that. And I think the more information you can provide on your profile, the more of a warm connection you're going to make with that homeowner. And I can just speak from being a gal. If I'm online doing some research, I want to see what the person I'm going to let into my house looks like, what their truck looks like. So I just think it's really important to do that. And we also have, and I know for you, probably you don't, have you downloaded our app? Do you use our app for anything, or?
I don't, but I'm sure lots of my people do. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would tell if some of your franchise owners that downloading that app is a really great way to do business while you're on a job. Also, you might have to turn the sander off to answer it, but at least you can see it. So those would be just a couple.
Yeah.
What's that?
And then you could text them back real quick too.
Exactly.
We've been surprised by that. We really went to text in the last year or so. And probably half of the estimates that we schedule are via text. People love it. So
and also, I'm sure you feel the same way. I don't answer my phone that much anymore. I will look at an email, but for whatever reason, when I get a text, it's like Pavlov's dog. I'm like, who's texting me? So I tend to respond faster. And I don't know, I'm certainly not a millennial, but that piece of technology just works for me. So yeah.
No, it works for everybody. And people, it's amazing. They're putting in requests for floors at 2:00 in the morning all the time. So I guess that's what people do in the middle of the night, but
who knows?
I'm asleep. Yeah. So yeah, they get our email and our text in the middle of the night, and then they're already scheduling as we're waking up. So
that leads me to a question. Do you guys pause your leads on weekends, or do you keep them on all the time?
We have paused them for a long time. I think we go through Saturday and we pause them for Sunday. Mm-hmm. Come back on Monday.
Got it. Yeah. So now this is going back a little bit to the reviews. Do you hear from a lot of homeowners that they picked Footprints because of what they saw on the directory, the way that your profile reads or your reviews?
We hear.
You guys, I just looked at your Denver location today, and you had almost 500 reviews and it's a 4.99 star. So that's driving people. But do you hear that from homeowners?
All the time. Yeah,
cool.
we have a strong presence. People read our reviews. We train our sales guys to ask that question. Did you see our reviews? Did you check us out? And some haven't, and some have. The ones that haven't, we put it in front of them, and they're like, oh, wow. Because a lot of our competition has 7 reviews, and who are you going to go with most likely? It's like picking a restaurant. I'm going to go with the one with 500 reviews or 7. Yeah. So that's, again, why it's so important that new guys get to 10 and 20 as quickly as possible. It adds credibility.
Yeah, I agree. So any advice that you could give our service providers who are just starting that you wish somebody had told you when you first started on HomeAdvisor? I know we just talked about the reviews. You think that's obviously that's hugely important.
Yeah, reviews. It was a lesson learned. I'm not sure if somebody had told me about it, but there's definitely a hang up for a lot of individuals as they start marketing in general, where and I see it with every new franchise owner, they're sitting there watching every lead that comes through. They're like losing sleep when one didn't get converted into an estimate, and they're hitting up our receptionist staff. Why didn't that guy schedule? And it's like, some schedule and some don't. This isn't a game of 100% conversion. We're shooting for like 40 or 50% conversion, not 100%. What new to marketing guys need to look at is, what's the return on investment?
Mm-hmm.
How much did they spend, and what did that turn into as far as revenue goes? And you need to look at it over a longer period of time. You can't give it a week or even a month. I'd give it at least 3 months, and then go back and review and say, okay, well, I spent whatever, $2,000 and it turned into $14,000, and then make your decision based on that. And then that's another fallacy is, well, I got 14 grand out of it, but how much did it cost to operate those jobs? What was your cost of goods sold? And so that needs to be a factor as well. It's not just, oh, I got 14 grand. It cost me so much and I spent 2. So we're looking for marketing to be about 8% of our overall cost. That's company wide. And so if I spend 2 grand, I would want it to turn into $20,000 to $25,000 in total revenue. And that's the data that I use. And that's how we analyze every new marketing source that we enter into. And every month we check HomeAdvisor, and every month it checks out just fine. So we've always been happy with our return on investment.
Yeah, I'm going to read somebody had said HomeAdvisor works if you work HomeAdvisor as the platform was designed. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's a big picture. You have to look at the big picture marketing. To your point, you can't get fixated on, 1 or 2 leads that didn't convert immediately.
Oh, you'll go crazy. You just need to move on and just go for the ones that actually wanted to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about your business and your philosophy. I'll tell you, I went online and I saw a couple of little webinars that you did. And you just had some really, really good nuggets of information. So one of them was show up and do a good job, putting customers first and creating an impeccable reputation, right?
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
What else? Because you've built your business. Why don't you share kind of how you built this enormous business? Because it started out with just Denver, right?
I was the only employee. I did the floors myself. So it was me. My wife answered phones by day, and we had a 2-year-old, and she was 8 months pregnant when we started. So 4 dogs, 800 square foot house, and I was working 6.5 days a week. I'm pretty sure I said it in my first estimate ever. We don't do anything magical, but we'll mess up. We have issues. We will break something. We'll be late. But what we are good at is we show up and we call you back. And those are the 2 commitments that I can make. And we're going to do what we said we were going to do. And if I can accomplish those 3 things every single time, then I'll run a successful business. And every new franchise owner that I bring in, those are the core values I instill in them. Just call people back. Mm-hmm. The construction industry is riddled with people that struggle with showing up and calling people back. These are not difficult tasks. These are things that are expected. They should happen. And if you can't commit to something, then say no. I can't commit to that. It's and it's the ability to do that, and just keep your word.
Yeah. Well, can you tell everybody? So you started in Denver with 1 shop, and now tell us how big the business is.
Oh, we're in I think 22 states now. We have 97 different territories around the country. We just do floors. We do hardwood and tile. That's pretty much what we do.
Yeah. And what made you decide to franchise instead of just keep it as just the way it was and hire more people?
Kind of stumbled into it. And I didn't really want to franchise out of state. That was never my dream. I wanted to make sure I was always home with my family. That was the priority. Yeah. And I just ran into the right people. That's kind of been my philosophy in life, is just kind of go along and the right people will be put in front of you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There we are. Yeah,
I love it. So you had said if you had to use one word to describe Footprints, what would that word be?
Oh boy.
Did you say mentorship? Isn't that? I read.
Yeah, good. There it is. Good job.
Don't want to put you on the spot.
I watched all my videos. I can't remember all my different answers.
I did.
There's too much content out there, I guess. I'm going to get in trouble one of these days. Uh, yeah, no, mentorship. I love teaching my knowledge. That's why I'm on this call now. I think I've learned a lot over the years, and I've spent a lot of money to
Yeah.
learn it. So if I can help other people not make the same mistakes that I made, then I'm all about it.
Sounds great. So while we're just going to kind of move to another slide in a second, but anybody who's listening, if you've got any questions for Bryan or myself, there's a chat box on the bottom. Please feel free to put some questions in there because we can address them in a little bit. So Kaylee, can you go to the next slide? I'm going to just do a little, just some best practices, if you will, for some of our new folks. So Bryan and I talked about some of this, but some of the tips for success that we've kind of garnered over the 22 years that HomeAdvisor has been a company is we talked about this. This slide says call leads within 15 minutes. I'm actually going to urge you folks to really do that much faster. Bryan says in minutes. I'm going to agree. Pros who call out to homeowners, very quickly are more likely to, number one, reach that consumer, but also convert to the job. Requesting reviews are huge, so important. And you can do that right off of our app. We make it really, really easy for you. So for folks who are just starting out, I would really urge you to download the app. It's a great way to run your business, especially when you're just starting out and you might not have the structure or the administrative structure in place yet. So having that app, you're able to respond to emails, to leads immediately. Obviously you can get directions to the job, but there's all sorts of really, really good information on the app to help you be successful. And Bryan talked about this at the latter part of our conversation, managing your lead flow. You want to make sure that you are in the zip codes that are going to be most advantageous for you, and you want to track your ROI. It's really important that you know where your money's going, obviously, but I think it's also really important to say you have to look at this as a total, as a total marketing cost. You don't want to get too fixated on just one lead or two leads, but to Bryan's point, you want to give it a couple months, and then you can kind of do a deeper dive and see where your money's going. Kaylee, can you put the next slide on? All right, we did talk about this quite a bit on the left-hand side. That's what your pro portal or your profile is going to look like. I'm going to urge you all to spend some time on this, get used to it, because this is the place where you're going to run your business. Every single lead will come into your pro portal. So let's say your email went down or there was some trouble. Your leads will always populate in your pro portal. You can request reviews from here. You can manage your lead flow. You can pause your leads. You can pay your bills. You can manage your spend target, whether or not you want to up it or decrease it. So just urge you folks to really spend some time getting comfortable with the portal. Because as I said, that's how you're going to run your business through HomeAdvisor. And then on the right-hand side is just a couple screenshots, snapshots, if you will, of the Pro app. Again, we talked about this before, but I'm going to urge you all to please, especially if you're kind of a one-man shop or don't have, a huge call center or a lot of people available to answer the phone, to download this app because you can pretty much run your business from there as well. So we can go to the next slide. And here, if you guys want to take a screenshot of this, these are some pretty helpful resources for you. The Pro Help Center will just give you a bunch of different information on HomeAdvisor and some other stuff that we're doing. And then the Pro Resource Center, I'm going to urge you folks to spend some time there. There's a lot of videos, a lot of information just on HomeAdvisor, the different types of leads that we have, all sorts of insights and tools. So urge you guys to spend some time there. And lastly, the Business Customer Care BCC are always available for you, and you can live chat. So that's kind of what I wanted to just point out to you folks today. And Kaylee, if we have any questions, I'd love to see if Bryan can answer or if I can.
Yeah, Bryan, we have one first question for you, which is asking, which CRM are you using? Oh,
I just answered. I'm sorry.
There you go. You just answered it. Never mind. Do you want to answer it out loud to everyone?
Sure.
Just so people know.
We use a company called Client Tether. They're built and made for franchisors, so it's not one that would necessarily work for an individual business. But there's a bunch out there. We used Zoho for a lot of years, and it worked very well. I know it has automation features that you can put into it. I'd stay away from Salesforce. It's very pricey. Yeah, there's some good options out there. Just, yeah. Yep.
Okay, one other question for you as well. What do you do when your leads are not converting?
I panic. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, there's definitely an ebb and flow in leads. We see it all the time, and it's in every different marketing source. So we don't panic is really the rule of thumb. It's there's ebb and flow, and just kind of ride the wave. That's why you need to do it over a longer period of time. Keep trying to connect with the ones that are out there. Try to convert them. But yeah, just keep pushing through. You got to give it time.
Awesome. And then one last question for you. How do you go about building a robust profile when you're just getting started?
You have to go back to when you first started, Bryan.
It doesn't take a lot to create a robust profile. You need a handful of pictures. Take pictures of your own house, I guess. I did that. I did all the work in my own house, which worked out well. But like, this is my cool staircase. I don't tell everybody that this is my house.
You don't have to.
No, but it's very easy to take pictures of your work at your own place. And then make a nice paragraph. If you're not the best of writers, I would strongly encourage you to find somebody who is, because that's really important. I'm not sure if HomeAdvisor offers that service. Do you have?
No, what I would say, you just kind of go on to HomeAdvisor and read a bunch, look at the directory, and you'll get plenty of information about what works for you as far as a description of your business.
Yeah. And then try to connect awards to it if you can. Better Business Bureau if you've got it. And that's really what people are looking for. And then reviews. I would say 90% of people don't really look at the pictures or read the paragraph. All they're doing is looking at the reviews. They might not even read many of them. They just look at the score. They'll read a couple of them or a few of them, and then they'll move forward. Something I hadn't said, I don't think it's been brought up yet. Always respond to every review. Even the mediocre ones? Good, bad, indifferent.
What's your process in responding to something that might not be stellar? If it's just kind of mediocre.
The rule of thumb is you're writing to the reviewer, and that's who you're addressing, but you're really writing to the general public. Exactly. And you need to keep it very professional, not blaming. I do tend to cross the line a little bit, and I will point out people's issues in their complaints back to them, which I don't know, maybe that's good or bad, but they make me mad, so I'm going to get a couple digs in, I guess.
Yeah, and I would say don't get mad online. You're going to go down a wormhole.
But I also don't give PC answers like, oh, I'm so sorry for your experience. I might say that, but it's, I'm sorry that our guy being late on the second day by 12 minutes made it the worst experience of your life. I find that hard to believe. I've had a lot worse experiences in life, but I can appreciate where you're coming from, and maybe you should have gone with another company or something. I don't.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll try to at least paint a picture of why they're complaining. Like, really, we've gotten bad reviews for putting flyers on doors, and who knows? It's people.
Yeah. Consumers are tricky. They're very unpredictable.
The best way to fight the bad reviews is to just bury them with good reviews.
That's perfect. Actually, I was gonna end with that. So, Bryan, I want to thank you so much for spending some time. And folks, Bryan's been sick all day. He's had a fever, and he totally manned up and came and joined us. So I'm very appreciative, and I thank you. So, welcome everybody to HomeAdvisor, and hope it all works out well for you. Bryan, thanks again. Have a great day.
Welcome. Yep.